Hey everyone, I'm going to show you how to make a tiny house that is scaled for minifigures for today's Lego brick tutorial. Let's begin with our chassis, starting with a 6x8 plate. We're going to flip this over. Let's set down a 2x6 plate right in the center. And right here, a 2x4 plate. Take a 2x2 modified plate with Technic hole. I'm going to place a Technic pin inside. I'm going to make 4 of these, and I'm going to place these in these 4 areas. These are going to be used as our axles for our tiny house. On the top, a 2x6 plate, and on the bottom, a pair of 1x2x2 corner plates. Now I want to sandwich all this together with a 4x8 plate. We're really going to have to muscle that down. Now I want to flip my axle assembly over. On this side here, I'm going to place an 8x8 plate, and on this end with our corner plates, a 4x8 plate. Now we're going to flip this back over, and right here in the center, a 2x4 plate. For some leveling jacks, let's take a 2x2 modified plate with Technic hole. We're going to stick a friction pin inside the hole and take a 2 stud long beam. We're going to place that on like so. We're going to make 4 of these. I'm going to place 2 of these right here, right next to our 2x4 plate. And I'm going to place these 2 right in this area to where the 2x2 modified plates are right up against each other. Now let's take an A-frame hitch assembly. I'm going to take one of these holders. I'm going to snap this on like that. I'm going to place this right here. Then I'm going to strengthen up this area with a 2x8 plate. Just muscle that right down in there. Now I want to make sure that my leveling jacks are facing inward like so. So I'm going to take a 1x2 plate and a 1x2 plate with track. I'm going to place the 1x2 plate on top of the track piece. I want to make 2 of these, flip these over. I'm going to set these right in here. This will fill in the front portion of our chassis. And I'm going to set down a pair of 1x8 plates along these 2 sides for skirt. Now let's work on the right hand side. Take a 1x6 plate and a 1x2 plate. Let's place the plate right here, and then I'm going to set this plate right along this side to where the 1x2 plate is on this end. Now let's finish up this corner here with a 2x3 plate. We're going to place another 2x3 plate perpendicular, and then I'm going to slide in a 1x6 plate in that area. Flip this assembly over. I'm going to set this right here. And this cutout here is going to be used for our retractable steps. Now right in this opening, I'm going to set down a 1x2 plate. For the rear entry step, start with a 2x4 plate. Let's set down a set of 1x4 plates on top of one another. Then a set of 1x4x1 wall elements. Now let's take our stairs. We're going to flip these over, and we're going to note the orientation of our stairs. I'm going to take a set of upwards 1x2 plates with Technic lift arm. We're going to place these to where the lift arm portion is right here. Then a set of friction pins. We'll place these right inside our lift arm plates. And a pair of 1x2 downwards plates with Technic lift arm. We're going to place these right here. Now take an upwards 1x2 by 1x2 angular plate. We're going to face off these studs with a 1x4 flat tile. We'll put that in the center. We're going to stick this right here on our 1x2 modified plates with Technic lift arm. and take our retractable step, we're going to place this right in here. Now, before we can put this in, we're going to have to rotate our leveling jacks inwards. They'll fold right inside that little area. Place this right down in here. You may have to wiggle it in a bit. You want to hold underneath as well. And then I want to secure this portion here with a 2x4 plate. And just like what we did on the left-hand side, I'm going to take a pair of 1x2 modified plates with track, place one here, and another one on the other side. This will also secure this portion of our retractable step. You may have to move this around a bit to get that plate in there. Let's flip our chassis over. We'll start working on the top. So take a 1x2 by 1x2 downwards angular plate. I'm going to face off the front of the angular plate with a 1x2 flat tile. I'm going to place this right here next to our retractable steps. Now you may want to hold on to the bottom a bit. This is going to be our rear bumper. And for our rear brake lights, take a 1x1 by 1x1 downwards angular plate. Place a transparent red flat tile on the face. Let's make two of these. I'm going to place these on both ends. This will finish up the rear. Right in this area, a 1x1 plate, and these studs right here, set of 1x1 flat tiles. I'm just going to leave the one in the middle open. That's going to be used for a middle wall that we'll be building in a moment or two. Make sure those are all lined up. Now let's start adding our hardwood floor, starting with a 1x2 flat tile, place it there, and I'm going to set down a pair of 1x3 jumper plates. These are going to be used to anchor down our dining room chairs. Then we're going to proceed on with a 1x2 jumper plate and another 1x3 jumper plate. Then I'm going to set two 1x2 plates on top of one another. I'm going to place these right here, and we're going to place a set of 1x8 plates on top of one another. I'm going to place these right here. This will black out our wheel wells for our axles. Then a set of 1x2 flat tiles and a 1x3 jumper plate. Now back on the right, a 1x2 flat tile and a 1x4 flat tile, followed by a 1x8 flat tile. This is going to strengthen up the depth of her chassis. And in this area, a 1x2 flat tile and a 1x1 flat tile. And I'm going to build up a portion of our cabinet. So I'm going to take a 1x3 plate. I'm going to face this off with a 1x1 and 1x2 flat tiles. I'm going to set this right here. Now back on the right hand side, we're going to stick a 1x8 flat tile. Just be sure to leave a row of studs there. I'm going to set down a 1x4 and 1x2 flat tiles in this area. For our next row, 1x2 flat tile, followed by a 1x8 flat tile and a 1x1 flat tile. And finally in this corner here, a 1x1, 1x2 flat tiles. In this area, this is going to be our shower bath combo. So right here, I'm going to set down a 1x1 plate. This is going to be used to anchor down our bathroom door. And then I'm going to proceed on with a pair of 1x1 flat tiles. Now, you could use any color you wish for your floor. I decided just to use basic white for the bathroom floor. And then I'm going to proceed on right here with several 1x1 flat tiles. And then right here, a 1x2 jumper plate. That's going to be for the toilet bowl. And I'm going to wrap around that with, you guessed it, more 1x1 flat tiles. And in this area right here, two 1x1 flat tiles and a 1x2 plate right there. Then I'm going to take a 1x2 wall element. We're going to place it like this. And right next to that, a 1x1 round flat tile. This is going to be our shower drain. And I'm going to take a 1x2x2 corner wall element, set that right there, and a triple 1x2x1 triple wall element in this area. This is going to be our little shower pan. For our first level of bricks, I'm going to start right here in the top right. I'm going to place a 1x4 profile brick right in here. Now I'm going to have the bricks facing inside. Then I'm going to continue on with a pair of 1x2 inverted 45-degree slopes. Then I'm going to proceed on with a 1x2 profile brick and a 1x4 profile brick. This portion right here, a 1x2 profile brick and a 1x2 brick with cross hole. This is going to be used to attach our propane tank, and a 1x2 profile brick. Take a 1x1 headlight brick. I'm going to face this off with a white stud. Place this right here. Be sure to skip a stud right there. And we're going to continue on with a 1x4 profile brick and another 1x1 headlight brick. And this time we're going to use a dark stone gray stud. That'll be our electrical. Then I'm going to proceed on with a set of inverted 1x2 45-degree slopes, and to wrap this up right here, a 1x2 profile brick. So on the top left, a set of profile bricks. We're going to place a 1x2 and 1x4 profile bricks right here, and here in the front, a 1x4 and 1x2 profile bricks. Just making sure all the regular side of the brick is facing outwards, and right in this area, a 1x4 and 1x2 profile bricks. Let's take a set of 1x1 bricks, place these on top of one another. I'm going to set this column right in this area. I'm going to make 3 more of these, this time in brick yellow. I'm going to place these 2 on the front portion of our tiny house, and this one right in this area right here. Now I want to put a little rail right next to my steps. So I'm going to take a stud, I'm going to place a nose cone on top of the stud, and I'm going to crown that off with a stud, make 2 of these, and I'm going to set these right in this area. And yes, things are getting a bit unstable. Let's wrap off the top of our wheel well, starting with a 1x12 plate. I'm going to start here on the right hand side. I'm going to place a 1x2 profile brick, followed by 3 1x4 profile bricks. This is a lot easier to make an assembly off-site than doing it while we're on location. And I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to skip 2 studs from this side here. I'm going to place a 1x6 plate. Let's install our upper wheel well assembly right here. Just be sure to hold on to the bottom, and this will finish up the side of our wheel well. For our other wheel well, we're going to take another 1x12 plate. I'm going to skip 3 studs from the right hand side. I'm going to place 3 1x4 profile bricks. And we're going to skip 2 studs from on the bottom. I'm going to place a 1x6 plate. Now let's set this upper wheel well assembly right here. It should just fit right inside this area like a puzzle piece. This will lock in our little side rail as well. For our kitchen, let's start with a 1x4 plate. I'm going to place a 1x2 plate on the left hand side. And for our right hand side, a 2x2 plate. And I'm going to slide in a 1x2 plate right under this area. For some lower cupboards, let's take a 2x3 plate. I want to face off the front of this plate with 3 1x2 flat tiles. These are going to be our drawers, and this is going to be a little door. Now I want to flip this over and place a 1x1 by 1 2/3 brick with 2 studs and a 1x2 brick with 2 studs. Place that right there. Then I'm going to take this assembly and set it right in this area. followed by a 1x2 plate and a 1x2 brick in this area. Then I want to build up my sink basin with a 1x2x1 triple wall element and a 1x2 jumper plate. And to finish up our counters, a 2x3 flat tile and a tap for our faucet. For our oven and range, start with a 1x3 plate. We're going to place a 1x1 plate on the left-hand side, followed by a 2x2 plate and a 1x2 plate right underneath the front portion of our 2x2 plate. Then we're going to set down another 2x2 plate right on top of the previous, and here in the back, a pair of 1x2 plates. For our little viewing window, a 1x2 transparent clear plate, followed by a 1x2 plate with slide. We'll set that right there, and a 2x2 jumper plate for a little burner. We're going to add a little cupboard right here, so take a 1x2 plate. I'm going to face this off with a 1x2 flat tile. I want to flip this over and take a 1x1 brick with one stud, place that right there, and I'm going to set this right in this 1x1 opening. And I want to finish it off with a 1x2 flat tile. Now let's set our sink on top of a 1x8 plate. We'll put this on the left-hand side and our oven and range on the right-hand side. Let's rotate our tiny house around. I'm going to take my kitchen assembly and set it right in this area. Just be sure that it's up against these tiles. And then we're just going to shove that 1x8 plate down in that area. For our dining chairs, take a 2x2x2 seat. I want to flip it on its side. Then I'm going to take a set of studs. I'm going to place these on top of one another. I want to make 4 of these, and I want to place these in all 4 corners of our seat. Sometimes they can be a bit stubborn to get in the corners, especially when it's the last one. Now we're going to make another seat, but this one's only going to have 2 legs, so take another 2x2x2 seat. I'm going to take a set of studs. We're going to stack these on top of one another. I want to place the studs on the left-hand side of our seat to where this side is open. This is going to be used to set right above our wheel well. Let's rotate our tiny house around. I'm going to set this dining room chair right here, and the other dining room chair that's missing 2 legs, we're going to set this right on top of these 2 jumper plates. This is meant to wrap around that wheel well. Now for our dining room table, we're going to take a 1x2 profile brick, place a 1x2 jumper plate right on top. I'm going to place this right here, and a telescope piece right on this jumper plate on the floor. Then I'm just going to take a 2x3 flat tile for a tabletop and set that right there. Now let's make a little cupboard that goes in our little hallway. Take a 2x3 plate. I'm going to face this off with 3 1x2 flat tiles. Then I'm going to place a 1x2 by 2x2 downwards angler place right in this area. Then I'm going to set this right on top of our tiles. And for a little toilet bowl, we're going to take a 2x2 inverted dome and a 2x2 flat tile that's round. I'm going to place this right on top of our jumper plate. I'm going to keep my opening right in the middle. Let's take a pair of 1x2 plates. We're going to place these on top of one another, and we're going to crown that off with a 1x2 plate with track. Go on the bottom, place a 1x1 plate and a 1x1 brick in this area. I'm going to take this. This is going to be our first step to get into the loft bedroom. We're going to place this right here, and I'm going to lock all that together with a 1x3 plate. And right in this area right here, a 1x4 flat tile and a 1x1 plate. And we're going to proceed on with a 1x2x2 corner plate, a 1x2 plate, a 1x2x2 corner plate, a 1x4 plate in this area, followed by a 1x2x2 corner plate. And let's finish this off here with a 1x8 plate. May have to wiggle that one in a bit. For the bathroom sink, start with a 1x2 palisade brick. On the left-hand side, place a 1x1 brick. And on the right-hand side, a 1x1 corner wall element. And for a faucet, just a simple tap. Now let's install our bathroom sink assembly right next to our shower pan. Right behind our sink, a 1x6 brick. And I'm going to wrap around this side here with a 1x3 brick. Just be sure to keep a one stud reveal on that side. I'm going to wrap around here with a 1x6 brick. And in this area, 1x4 brick and a pair of 1x1 angular headlight bricks. We're going to set these right here, and a 1x3 brick. Let's face off our headlight bricks with a 1x2 radiator grill. So back in the top left, we're going to set down a 1x3 brick, skip a set of studs there. We're going to set down a 1x2 brick in that area, followed by a pair of 1x6 bricks and a 1x3 brick in this area. Now let's continue on with our steps here with a 1x2 plate with track. And I'm going to crown this off with two 1x2 plates, another track piece, and a 1x2 plate. Set that right there. Take a 1x3 plate, set a track piece right on top, and a 1x2 flat tile. We're going to set this right here. This is going to lock this whole assembly into the wall. Right in this area, a 1x1 plate and a 1x2 brick in that area. Now, we're going to need to add a window for our dining room, so we're going to take a set of 1x1 by 1 2/3 brick with two studs, stack those on top of one another, and I'm going to take a 1x4 flat tile to face these off. These are going to be like little shutters. I'm going to set one right here. Then I'm going to skip 8 studs and place this one right in this area. For windows, take a 1x4x3 frame. I'm going to stick a piece of glass in the frame, make 2 of these, and I'm going to set these right in between our shutters. And let's lock in our windows with a 1x8 plate. You may want to open these up here, kind of squish that down real firm. Now we're going to put our little column in here. So let's take a set of 1x1 by 1 2/3 brick with 2 studs, set these on top of one another, and I'm going to face them off with a 1x6 plate. Sometimes it's going to be a bit stubborn. And I'm going to add some 1x2 by 2/3 slopes. This is going to give us like a little bay window effect here. Then I'm going to take this assembly and set this right here. For our rear window assembly, start with a 1x1 plate. I'm going to set down a 1x1 brick right on top, followed by 3 more 1x1 plates. And then 3 transparent clear 1x1 bricks. Now, these things may get a little wonky, so we're going to have to place these on a flat surface to kind of mush everything down, make sure all the bricks are lined up. Now let's set our bay window column right here. Let's take a set of 1x2 profile bricks. We're going to place these on top of one another, followed by a 1x2 plate. Then I'm going to take 3 1x1 bricks. I'm going to stack these on top of one another, followed by a 1x1 plate. I'm going to place this column on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, a set of 1x1 by 1 2/3 brick with 2 studs. Place it on the right-hand side. Then I'm going to take a 1x6 plate. I'm going to face this off with 3 1x2 by 2/3 slopes, and I want to place this assembly on our bricks with studs. Now let's take our column. We're going to place this on the other side of our bay window. It should just fit right in this opening, right next to our retractable stairs. Now I'm going to lock all this together with a 3x3 plate. Secure everything up. For our entry door, take a 1x4x6 frame. We're going to set a door inside the frame. Then I'm going to just take a pearl silver stud or a little doorknob, place that right there. I'm going to set this right inside this little opening. Now the door won't open up until we fold out the steps. We're still a long ways away from that. And I'm going to lock the door assembly in with a 2x6 flat tile. This area by the door, I'm going to set down a 1x1 flat tile and a 1x1 plate. Let's take 3 1x1 bricks, place them on top of one another, and a 1x1 plate. We're going to make 3 columns. I'm going to set 2 in this area by the bathroom, and I'm going to place this one by the rear entry door. Let's make more shutters with a pair of 1x1 by 1 2/3 brick with 2 studs. I want to face these off with a 1x4 flat tile. I'm going to make 4 of these. I'm going to place these on the side with the kitchen. Place this one right here. I'm going to skip 2 studs. Place another shutter assembly. Skip a stud. We're going to place another one. And this one will be right by the door. Now for our side windows. Take a 1x2x3 frame, let's pop some glass. I'm going to make 2 of these. I'm going to set this one right by the kitchen sink and this one here by the rear entry. And I'm going to crown the window on the left with a 1x2 plate. This window over here, I'm going to put a little television, so I'm going to take a 1x2 by 1x2 upwards angler plate, and I'm going to place a computer monitor right on the top portion. I'm going to set this right in here. Now I'm going to rotate this around. I want to put a column right in here with a light. So I'm going to take a set of 1x1 bricks, place these on top of one another, and a 1x1 plate. Then a 1x1 brick with 1 stud. Now I want to put a light on that. So I'm going to set this off to the side. I'm going to take a hollow stud and a transparent yellow stud. We're going to place the hollow stud right on top of the yellow stud, and we're going to use a tap. So set the tap portion inside the stud. I'm going to place this right here. And I'm just going to drop this column assembly right here for a nice decorative little light. Now I want to place a little hood on top of my stove. So I'm going to take a set of 1x1 bricks with 2 studs on opposite sides. I'll place these in as shown. Then I'm going to take a 2x2 45-degree slope. I'm going to face this off with a 1x2 flat tile, and I'm going to place this right on one side of our bricks with studs. And on this side right here, a 1x2 by 2/3 slope. Then I'm going to come right here, place a 1x1 brick, and I'm going to take a set of 1x1 angler headlight bricks. We're going to place these right here. This is going to be the ventilation for our refrigerator. Then I'm going to set down a 1x1 brick in that area. Then I'm going to come in here and face off these headlight bricks with a 1x2 radiator grill. For a refrigerator, let's take a 2x3x2 cupboard and a door that fits inside the cupboard. I'm going to place this in to where we can put a door on the front. I'm going to make two of these. I'm going to stack two containers on top of one another. You may have to open up the doors to press down in the middle. And on the bottom, a set of 1x3 bricks. This is going to lift our fridge off the floor. Now let's set our refrigerator right in this opening. For our shower partition, take a 1x2 brick. We're going to set a 1x2 brick with two studs on the front, and I'm going to face these studs off with two transparent studs, a red one and a light blue one. And I'm going to proceed up two more levels with a pair of 1x2 bricks followed by a 1x2 plate. Now for a shower head, I'm going to take a 1x2 plate with stick and one of these 1x1 plates with holder. Place it on there like so for a square shower head to complete the assembly. Now let's install our shower assembly right in this area. Just press that right down in there. Back to this side of our bathroom, I'm going to set down a 1x3 brick, followed by a 1x2 brick, and a pair of 1x1 bricks with one stud. These are going to be used to anchor down our bathroom mirror. Set those right there, followed by a 1x2 brick. Now for the mirror, I'm just going to use a standard medium stone gray 2x2 flat tile. Just set that right in there. And for a little bathroom window, I'm going to take a 1x1 brick with one stud. I'm going to face this off with a 1x1 flat tile. We're going to make two of these. I'm going to set these right here. Sometimes all these 1x1s are a bit of a chore to line up. And for the bathroom window itself, a 1x1 plate, a 1x1 transparent clear plate, and a 1x1 plate. To make it look like we have some trim around the window, we're going to set that right there. Now, we're going to add a little window in our hallway. Let's start with some shutters. So take a 1x1 by 1 2/3 brick with two studs. We're going to place a 1x1 plate on the bottom, and I'm going to take a 1x3 flat tile. I'm going to place these pegs inside these tubes. Like that. I'm going to make two columns and set these in here. And a 1x2x2 window with glass. I'm going to place that right in there. Then we're going to finish off this area here, starting with a 1x4 plate right above our window, a 1x3 plate in this area, then a 1x6 plate in that area. Then we're going to wrap around here with, we'll put a 1x3 plate here right above the bathroom window, and a 1x6 plate here. Secure this whole entire side together. Let's turn our attention to the bathroom door. So we're going to take a set of 1x1 bricks, place them on top of one another, and a 1x1 plate. We're going to place this column right down in here. Then let's take a right 1x3x4 door. I'm going to put a stud right at the bottom of the door. And I'm going to set this door right on that 1x1 plate. Now this you may have to wiggle in a bit to get that to sit down on top of that. Then I'm going to lock the door in place with a 1x6 plate, and then I'm going to flat tile above the refrigerator with a set of 1x4 flat tiles and a modified 1x4 plate with two studs. These two studs are going to be used to anchor down our loft bedroom. Now for our post by our entry door, I'm going to take 3 nose cones. I'm going to set these on top of one another, and I'm going to place these right here. As you can see, this is a bit sloppy and crooked, so So I'm going to lock everything together with a pair of 1x10 plates. Now when you do this, you're going to be really careful. We'll start right here at the post for our entry door. We're just going to slowly just press everything down and just kind of wiggle everything into place. Everything will start locking in really nice. So we'll press this one down right here. Everything just straightened up, and it's also really strong too. Then we're going to proceed on with this side here with a set of 1x2x2 corner plates and a 1x4 plate. And let's finish this off here with a 1x10 plate right in this area. This may be a critical point here, so you're going to have to wiggle and jiggle this corner in. And then we're just going to finish this off here with 1x4 and 1x3 plates. Now let's smooth tile off the top of our tiny house, starting with a 1x8 flat tile. And I'm going to proceed on with a pair of 1x6 flat tiles. And on the back wall, a 1x8 flat tile and a 1x6 flat tile. Right above our little porch, a 1x8 flat tile. This will strengthen up this corner here, and right here, a 1x4 flat tile and a 1x2 plate. The 1x2 plate is going to help lock in our removable roof we're going to be building here soon. And we're going to finish this off with a 1x8 flat tile. Let's take a narrow tire. I'm going to place a narrow rim inside the tire. We're going to need to make 4 of these. Now it depends on your preference. I'm going to have the lug nuts facing outwards. So I'm going to place 2 of these tires on one side of our tiny house and 2 on the other. For our propane tank, take a 2x2 brick with 2 Technic holes. I'm going to place a 2x2 dome right on the top. And on top of that, a stud for a little control valve. On one side, take a friction pin with cross axle, stick that right there. And on the other side, a Technic pin with stud. I want to face the stud off with a stud. Then I'm going to flip it over and take a 2x2 shoe glider plate to finish off the bottom of the propane tank. Now let's install our propane tank in the 1x2 brick with cross hole. Sits right on top of the hitch assembly. For our loft bed, start with a 6x8 plate. Here in the top center, let's place 4 1x2 jumper plates. And in these 2 areas, a set of 1x2x1 wall elements. These are going to be used to not only fill the areas in around the bed, but to lock in our removable roof that we will be building in a moment or 2. Now let's skip 2 rows of studs. Let's place 2 more jumper plates. On the left-hand side, let's place a 1x1 flat tile and a 1x4 flat tile. These are going to be our planks for our hardwood floor, followed by 3 1x2 flat tiles and a 1x1 flat tile right here. And in this corner right here, a 1x2 flat tile and a 1x4 flat tile. And we're going to wrap it up with a 1x2 flat tile in that opening. Then we're going to place a 1x1 plate, a 1x2 jumper plate, and a 1x1 plate. This is going to be the anchors for our little railing. For the construction of our bed, let's place a 1x3 plate right here and a set of 1x4 plates. The jumper plates are going to be used to offset our bed. Then a 2x3 plate and a 3x3 plate. The 3x3 plate can be any color you wish. And a 1x4 plate right in the center. Let's add a comforter to our bed, starting with a pair of 1x4 by 1 1/3 brick with bow. Then I'm going to wrap around the corners with some 2x2 double brick with bow. Then we're going to place a 1x2 brick with bow right in that area. Then on the top, a 1x3 jumper plate. These are going to be used to attach our pillow. Then I'm going to fill in the field with several 1x1 flat tiles. Now you can use any color you wish. For my pattern, I'm going to be doing a checkered pattern with yellow and coral tiles. So this will give the comforter a bit of a pop of color for the interior. Now you can do any design you wish on this one. And it's okay if the tiles are a bit crooked. That'll make it look like it's like a nice soft fluffy comforter. Just place those right in there. And if you want, you can take the time to straighten those out. Now for a pillow, a 1x2 by 2/3 slope. And for our little rail, 3 1x1 nose cones. We'll set these right here. And a 1x4 flat tile to finish off the loft bed. Now the loft bed fits right in this area, so I'm just going to set this down. It should lock right on top of that 1x4 plate with the 2 studs. There's no gap here. That means we did everything correctly. Now let's begin the roof construction of our tiny house, starting with a 1x8 plate. Let's set down a 1x6 brick right in the center. Then take a 1x12 plate. I'm going to set down a 1x3 brick. On one side, I'm going to have it hang over by 1 stud. I want to make 2 of these and place these on both sides of our 1x6 brick. Now back on the left-hand side, a 1x8 brick followed by a set of 1x2 bricks. Next, take 6 1x2x2 frames. These have glass in them. I'm going to place 3 on one side and 3 on the other. This is going to give our loft bed some natural light. Then let's take a pair of 1x2 bricks, stack them on top of one another, place one column here, make another one, place this one here. Back on the left-hand side, a 1x6 plate, and right here, a 1x8x2 brick with arch. Now let's strengthen up our walls with a set of 1x2 plates with track. Then I'm going to take a pair of 1x8 plates with track. Set these right above the windows. These are going to lock our windows right in place, followed by 2 more 1x2 plates with track. These are going to be like our little rain gutters. And in these 2 areas right here, a set of 1x1 plates. Now in these 2 areas right here, a set of 2x2 45-degree slopes. Then I'm going to take 2 more 1x8 plates with track. Set these right there, right underneath our slopes. Then we're going to proceed on with a set of 2x8 45-degree slopes. Take a 1x8 plate with track, stick a 2x4 45-degree slope right there. Then I'm going to take this assembly, we're going to slide it right in here. We're going to lock this whole area together. Now in this area I'm going to add a little window, so I'm going to take a 1x2 transparent clear brick, set that right there. Now you want to be careful because this slope may fall in. Then I'm going to proceed on with a set of 2x8 45-degree slopes and a pair of 2x2 45-degree slopes. Now I want to join my 2 halves of my roof together, so I'm going to start with a 2x4 plate. I'm going to place a set of 1x1 by 2/3 slopes in these corners right here. Then I'm just going to place this right on top of the brick with arch. Make sure that our roof slopes are locked in place. This will secure up this joint. Now let's take a 2x2 plate. I'm going to take a set of these 45-degree slope plates, place these along one side to where the slopes are as shown. Then I'm going to place this assembly right here to where this portion of the 2x2 plate is on top of the 2x4 plate. That assembly is going to be used to tie in our last two 2x8 45-degree slopes. Now take a 2x14 plate, we're going to flip this over, and I'm going to back butter a pair of 2x12 plates to where it's hanging over one side like so. And then I'm going to take this, we're going to set this portion of the 2x2 right in this area, and the 2x12 plates will rest on top of these two supports. Take 12 2x3 bricks with bow. We're going to place 6 on one side and 6 on the other. Yes, I finally have the correct amount of parts to finish this portion of the roof up. And no, I'm not going to edit this part out here because you don't want to press down too hard in this area because you are working strictly on top of plates. So if you have to, feel free to flip this over and reinforce it with your fingers so when you can press these down. We'll do that here in a second. I'm just going to tack these in real quick. And you can just do this right here. Just make sure everything is locked inside that little groove on the back of the 2x3 bow. Now we're going to finish off the top with several tiles. Let's start with a 2x2 flat tile. We're going to start right here on the right and then proceed on with 5 2x4 flat tiles. This is going to give our roof a nice little ridge to smooth everything off for the removable top for the tiny house. Now let's set the roof on top of our tiny house living quarters. It locks right in here on the 1x2 plate and it snugs around the bedroom area. And this completes the tutorial for the tiny house.